Eyewitness video shows boxer Anthony Joshua in what appeared to be the moment after he was involved in a deadly car accident in Nigeria on Monday. This occurred just over a week after he knocked out American social media star Jake Paul in Miami. Ogun State Police Command said Joshua, a British former heavyweight champion, was in a vehicle that collided with another car, leaving 2 people dead, but that the boxer sustained only minor injuries. Promoter Matchroom Boxing said the 2 people killed were members of Joshua's training team and his close friends. It also confirmed that the boxer was stable and had been taken to hospital for checks and treatment, though he would remain under observation. Nigeria's Federal Road Safety Corps said preliminary findings suggest the vehicle was likely speeding when it lost control during an overtaking maneuver and crashed into a stationary truck parked by the roadside along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. 2 of the 5 men involved in the accident walked away unhurt. Authorities did not say who was driving the car carrying Joshua. Joshua is expected to fight longtime rival and fellow British boxer Tyson Fury in 2026.
Good morning, good morning. Okay, so yes, I just seen this story and seen that he got into a car accident. And I'm just like, dang man, that's so unfortunate. That is so unfortunate. And prayers to everybody that's involved and their families. And that right there in itself sparked something. Excuse me, sparked something in me for a topic that we're gonna do and we're gonna talk about. Sorry if I sound weird. My throat feels weird. Hey, CP3. Hold on. So I say this can be about 20 minutes or so, 22 minutes or so. CP3, did you see that story? I'm like, damn, he just had a fight. He just had a fight that he did good with. And that's just a perfect example of how quick anything can happen to anybody. It doesn't matter what your status is, what type of money you have, what you do for a career or a living. It's all temporary, and only a certain amount of it is in our control. And I just feel really bad. And those were his peoples, so it's not like it's like and even if it was quote unquote just some employees, that's still messed up. But it's even more messed up when it's your folks. And it's only human nature to feel guilty about surviving something that you went through with other people that didn't. So we're gonna talk about it. You say you saw it, it's crazy. Yeah, it is crazy. It's very sad. And for me, it's a reminder of what the hell? People too. You know what I mean? Like how many people in this world, not just this country, experience this type of stuff? Where whether it's a freak accident or natural disaster, or in certain situations, depending on where you live and what's going on where you live, somebody come, to your block on some BS. Not everybody makes it. It's just crazy. We're gonna talk about it. Because I never read into survivor's guilt. I always heard about it. So I said this will make for a good live or video, just to bring some awareness to these things. All right, so it says survivor's guilt is a distressing emotional response where someone feels guilty for surviving a traumatic event that others didn't. often questioning why me, and feeling undeserving or responsible, leading to symptoms like anxiety, sadness, flashbacks, sleep issues, and withdrawal, and is a common symptom of PTSD, which was a post-traumatic stress disorder, I believe, which that's a whole other lot we're going to do. Triggered by events from accidents and disasters to military combat or even illness, with coping involving acknowledging feelings, seeking support, focusing on external factors, and practicing self-compassion. That's just got to be a bad feeling. You can't really tell somebody how they're supposed to feel after experiencing something like that either. So that's terrible for the person. And I know that's hard for whoever their support system is, if they're blessed to have one. He says definitely a real thing. It sticks around forever too. Yeah, I can imagine. I can really imagine. That's really messed up. And then I can imagine, like, okay, God forbid, there's situations where there's family members or friend groups, and maybe a couple of them had cancer. One beat the cancer, the other one wasn't able to beat the cancer. The one that beat the cancer, it's only human for them to feel sometimes like, damn, why did I beat this? And how come they couldn't beat it? That's just an example because I've actually experienced that in my life where multiple people I cared for had cancer and one survived. One beat it a few times. The other one didn't. Good day, world. Hey, Carlos. Good morning. And at least in the clip that I played, they didn't say who was driving, but they did say that, or at least the Nigerian police said that the car him and his people were in was speeding and they hit a parked car. So I don't know, but I don't think he was driving. It didn't, especially from the video I seen it of him them getting him out of there. He wasn't driving. Ugh, that's really messed up. Eat right, long life. I do believe that, Carlos. I think the stuff they put in the food is killing us, but that's a whole other conversation. Let's see. I don't know if you guys ever experienced anything like that, where you went through something traumatic or crazy with other people, but you made it, quote unquote, made it, and they didn't. Or even if you know people who that happened to. It's crazy. Things happen so quickly too. It really is best to get your affairs in order because all of this is temporary. Like I tell y'all all the time, all of this is temporary. Nothing is promised. And if you have people that you care for, that care for you, you don't want to leave them like a fish out of water if something, God forbid, happens to you. Okay. Common symptoms. Let's talk about some of the common symptoms of survivor's guilt. First one is an emotional symptom. persistent guilt, shame, sadness, anxiety, irritability, helplessness. Because in that moment, like, especially when it's like, I don't know, even know if I could say especially when it's fresh, but like, there's only so much you can do for somebody. And then if you try to do too much without even trying to do too much, that's definitely gonna make them irritable. Like, bag back. Damn. Give me some space. It's weird. And it's a tightrope to walk because you want to give space, but you don't want to give too much space because then it may come off like you're not there for the person. The second symptom is psychological. Psychological. I can never say that word right. Intrusive thoughts, flashbacks, obsessive focus on the event, feeling worthless. Mm, psychological. Why can't I say that right? Psychological. I don't know. Whatevs. The third one is physical, sleep disturbances, insomnia, fatigue, appetite changes, headaches, racing hearts. There's a lot. It's very stressful on the body. The next one is behavioral, social withdrawal, loss of interest in hobbies, increased risk taking, excuse me, and avoiding reminders because they don't feel like they were supposed to be here. They're supposed to be here. They don't feel like they're supposed to be here. They don't feel like it's fair that they're here. So they're just like, F it, I ain't supposed to be here anyway. Might as well just rock out. That's so dangerous and unhealthy. He said, yup, ain't no fun. I can imagine. You can give in. Yeah, we don't have magic powers. It doesn't work that way. CP3, you laughing at me because I keep messing up that word. Hey, Uncle L, good morning. We're talking about survivor's guilt. What is that? What is it? All right. So it says triggers and causes, traumatic events, war, natural disasters, as we talked about, accidents, car, plane, sheesh, mass shootings, childhood abuse, medical crises, cancer transplant, like we just talked about. Traumatic, these are some real life traumatic things that happen to people. And I said people, not person. Like this happens to people, and everybody deals with things differently. Everybody handles things differently. Everybody reacts to things differently. It's really crazy. And then when you talk about childhood abuse, so it's two people, two or more people grew up in the same home. It was a lot of effed up stuff going on in that home. One was able to get grown to be, once they were grown, they were able to, thrive. They may have gotten the appropriate therapy, whatever. The other one, not so much. They may have gotten into drugs, you know, committing crimes, whatever the case. that had them on a downward spiral. They went through the same things, but it affected them differently. And fast forward, that one that was blessed and able to do the work to get them where they need to be, regardless of what they went through, will have guilt because their brother and sister, not so much. And from the outside looking in, it may look like their brother or sister is a bum, an addict, this or that. But the one that was able to do something with themselves and overcome that, they know what's good. They know that they know what the root of that is. So it's crazy. The next trigger or cause will trigger in cause perceived responsibility, feeling you could have prevented the event or saved others, even if irrational. We'll just keep it on the whole in the home thing because I've seen so many different stories. It's crazy. So there's an older and there's a younger sibling. The older sibling is like, how many years I want to say, like maybe 6 years older, whatever. They get to an age where, boom, they're able to get out of there. I'm out of here. Y'all got me messed up. But their younger sibling, they can't bring them with them because they're underage. And obviously they're not able to go to court about it. So they leave. That younger one is still there, left to deal with whatever it is that they were dealing with when they were both there, but now it's just them. What do? You're gonna feel guilty about getting out of there. Even though it makes sense as to why you would want to get out of there if it's a messed up situation and now you're finally of age and able to get on out of there. Okay, history of trauma. Previous trauma can increase vulnerability and severity of guilt. Mm. The last thing we want to go over is um, how is survivor's guilt related to PTSD? And then we're going to go over the coping strategies. But let me see if y'all talking about anything. And I appreciate everybody that's here. I know this was on the fly. That might have dipped on me. That's your prerogative. I think y'all did. But that's all right. We're going to go over these. And then I'm out of here. CP3, you still here? Or you dipped on me? Because it says I have one, but I'm not sure. Anywho, let's continue. How it's related to PTSD. Survivor's guilt is a significant symptom of post-traumatic stress disorder, but isn't a standalone diagnosis. In current manuals like the DSM-5, you'd have to look that up. So it's just a symptom of PTSD, but that and it's even with it being a symptom of that, it by itself is a lot. Coping strategies. Acknowledge and grieve. Allow yourself to mourn the loss and accept your feelings as normal, because that is a normal feeling to have after going through something traumatic that you survived and somebody else didn't. Talk about it. Share your feelings with trusted friends, family, or a therapist. Definitely agree with that. And I would say friends, family, and a therapist. Shift focus. Recognize external factors beyond your control caused the event. And with that, that's tricky because if that's the case, then yes. But then there's some times where, God forbid, you may have caused the accident, but you survived. Because I've seen stories like that too. It's really, mm, it's really sad. Practice self-compassion. Forgive yourself and understand survival isn't a moral failing. Find peace. Channel feelings into positive actions like helping others or honoring the loss. And then the last one that they listed is professional help. Therapy, especially trauma focused cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT for short, or EMDR, can be very effective. So I hope, you guys were able to get something out of this. That whole story is really messed up, but I know that's just one story because this happens to people on a daily, and it's just a reminder that we are all living on borrowed time. We are all living on borrowed time. It's a blessing to be here. And if you don't like the quality of of the life you're living and you're able to do something about it, do something about it. Okay? I'm getting out of here. Thank you guys for coming. Who popped up on me? CP3 came, Carlos, and Uncle L, and whoever else may or may not be dwelling in the clouds. Appreciate y'all coming. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Hope y'all were able to get something out of this. And I encourage you guys to do your own research, trust but verify. I'm out of here. Bye. Thank you.